All right, guys. Next up, we got Michael's money line. I'm going to rattle off through Wednesday's card, which is going to be tomorrow. Hopefully, you're watching this in the morning. You can place your bets before the card starts. Starting off at the bottom, we'll go work our way up to the main event. Hunter Azure. I have this as of my betting predictions. We're at minus 170 favorite versus Brian Kelleher at a plus 150. You may be seeing more updated odds on the screen, but bear with me here. So I think for this fight, Azure by decision is your best bet. I think Azure is the better fighter, deserves to be the favorite. Kelleher should look to push the pace throughout, keep Azure against the cage, look for takedowns, which could make for an interesting fight. But I just think Azure will be able to stuff most takedowns and keep this fight on the feet. His striking gets him a decision win or possibly a TKO, but we're going to go with a decision on this one. Next one, Sijara Eubanks is a minus 350 favorite over Sarah Moras at a plus 290 underdog. I've got Eubanks by decision, and Eubanks should win this fight, and she's the better fighter everywhere. I just don't like trusting her enough at these odds. So I don't even know if she's worth putting money into parlays for this. Let's be very clear. Moras has some slick submissions, but that is really all that she should have to offer in this fight, because I think Eubanks should be a better striker, and she could even get a finish on the feet. But again, the heavy favorite on Sijara Eubanks, I wouldn't even think that she's worth even putting into a parlay. There's too much risk versus reward. Next up, Thiago Moises, minus 115 favorite versus Michael Johnson. It's close. It's almost a 50-50 pick 'em at a minus 105 as well for Michael Johnson. I've got Johnson by decision. I think Johnson's a better striker and wrestler, but Moises has the edge in grappling and is a decent striker. He just isn't active enough for me to think that he beats Johnson on the feet. And I think Johnson has the wrestling to dictate where the fight takes place, which is super important. I think Johnson should be the slight favorite in this fight, and I see him winning on the feet by landing more volume. So that's going to be a point victory by decision there. Now we got Marvin Vittori versus Carl Robertson. Vittori is the betting favorite at minus 155. I've got Vittori by decision. I think he's just a more well-rounded fighter and probably has a slight edge both on the feet and the mat. I think Robertson might have more power. He's a solid striker and decent wrestler himself. I think the line looks about right on this one, however, and I think Vittori wins this fight more times than he loses it. So you want to put that into a parlay by all means. Next up is Philippe Lins, versus Andrei Arlovski. Philippe Lins being the favorite at minus 150. However, I've got Arlovski by decision here. I didn't see anything special in what I saw from Lins when I looked at some of his fights. He should be quicker, more powerful fighter considering the stage of both of their careers, but nothing tells me he should be a minus 150 favorite over a vet like Arlovski. I think this will be a slow-paced, striking fight, and either guy could land a big blow. I think this is a decent fight for Arlovski at this point in his career, and he's the pick to take with an opportunity to win some money there. Ricky Simone is taking on Ray Borg. Ricky Simone being the favorite at minus 160. I've got Simone by decision. I think this is the fight that I'm most looking forward to the most personally, and it should be a grapple fest, which is just amazing. On average, take these numbers in. Simone lands 6.53 takedowns per 15 minutes, and Borg lands 4.26. They both land about 50% of their takedown attempts. That is what I'm so excited to see. I think both guys will have massive success against each other. I think Simone is going to be the guy landing and stuffing more takedowns because he's the bigger guy, and Borg is coming up to his weight class. He's moving up here. So I also like Simone more on the feet, so I'm going to go lean on him with my pick there. Next up, Drew Dober against Alexander Hernandez. Alexander Hernandez is the underdog, and I'm putting my money on Hernandez by decision. I see Dober having the edge on the feet and Hernandez having the edge on the ground. I think, however, Hernandez can hang on the feet and use takedowns to stamp on the rounds and tack on some rounds in his favor to win this decision. Either guy could get a knockout, but I think this is the one that goes a distance, and I see it being a close fight. I'm going to lean slightly to Hernandez because I see him landing takedowns, which is huge and can be a huge difference maker in terms of scoring on the cards. Two last ones here. Ovin St. Preux is the favorite against Ben Rothwell. I got St. Preux by decision. He's making his debut at heavyweight is OSP. I want to see how he looks on the scales before I would go and bet on this one per se, but I do think he's a better fighter and the rightful favorite. I'm just not sure about the price because I don't see him getting this fight to the ground, and it'll be hard to knock out Rothwell, right? I just think he is more likely to win over the course of 3 rounds. So I got St. Preux by decision on this pick. And lastly, what we're going to have here and talk about in the next video is Anthony Smith taking on Glover Teixeira. Anthony Smith is a minus 165 favorite in this fight, and Glover Teixeira is a plus 145 underdog. What do I have here? This is going to be a hot take. I can't wait to break it down in the video with you guys. I got Glover Teixeira by TKO. I think Glover is the better boxer. He's the better wrestler as well. Smith is dangerous on the feet. Let's not get that wrong. And on the ground. But the price is too steep. This is what we're talking about here, the betting prices. I also believe it's a decent matchup for Glover. This line should be closer to even, so the value is on the underdog, and that's why I'm going to go with Glover by TKO on my prediction. And that wraps up Michael's money line for this week.